Hello everybody and welcome back to my Minecraft survival world. Today we are continuing a currently unnamed build project. I still don't have a name for it. So what we're going to be doing today, we have some resources gathered. As you can see, these are some of the block pallets that I needed the squid farm for, and I've been AFKing at the guardian farm for. And we're going to be using some deep slate as well. And we're going to start filling in this center diamond crystal looking thing. I don't really know what to call this either. So what I'm going to start doing is filling in this center stencil. One thing I'm going to try figuring out is some texturing. So I think I'm going to actually texture the entire build, and it's going to be a mix between. As far as the blocks that I decided on, we are using deep slate tile, chiseled deep slate, and deep slate bricks. Something I don't understand how people texture builds, because you know, obviously you try to be as random as possible, but like there's got to be a better way to this, because like I can put my mouse to where it can like just continue to roll like this, but obviously it doesn't place the blocks very well. If you guys have any suggestions, how do people texture builds? I mean, do they just try and do their best, or you know, making it random? But I don't know. I'm gonna fill up this quadrant. All right, I think this whole side I'm gonna do first, and then we'll look at it. Finished one side here, and we put the sea lanterns in, so let's go ahead and see what we're looking like so far. Okay, that looks interesting, to say the least. So right now I have the sea lanterns indented, and I haven't put in the dark prismarine yet, so I think that's something that I still could need. But obviously we need a lot more ornamentation going on here, which is gonna be my weak suit I'm trying to figure out. So I don't like it. I don't like it. But what's wrong with it though? Why, you think it's good so far? Alright, so what I've done now is built up to two corners, or a corner of this bottom segment. So right now I decided to change the, I guess, the strips of sea lanterns and dark prismarine to be protruding rather than indented, and I'm still a little bit not sold on this design yet as far as the ornamentation with the lights are going so far, but you know, maybe it is kind of coming together. I kind of reasoned that, you know, I really like how this upper stencil looks, so I think what I'm going to do is replace all the stone with the sea lantern tracks, and then those sea lantern tracks will be surrounded by dark prismarine as well. But I do think something needs to go in these corners, because I obviously have these strips of sea lanterns which don't look horrible, but I think something needs to go in here, so that's going to be a little interesting to try and figure out what that is actually going to be. Now I'm going to be trying a little bit of a horizontal piece of sea lanterns. So let's see what this looks like. I don't know, I'm doubting what this looks like, if it looks good or not, a lot. So this is one corner of it. I do like that a little bit better. I still think that something needs to happen in that blank space, maybe. Alright, so we've been going through some complicated times here on the building here, but we decided to keep it simple. I've tried out many different designs as implementing more lines of lighting, but I think our final product for these tiny pyramid segments is to keep it simple. So here's what we have after 3 sides. We're going to keep it simple on the bottom. We might get a little more advanced for the larger mid-body segments. Here's what we're looking like from the corner, and as we can see, as it comes down to this little point here, I just decided to cap it off with a little bit of dark prismarine, but I think this is looking pretty clean and elegant, and looking pretty nice. So here is the final 2 dark prismarine blocks going in for the outside shell of the bottom pyramid here. So let's go ahead and have a look-sees. Looking very nice, very simple, and I think a pretty decent design for our first segment here. Now as far as this floor bit, I'm not exactly sure what's gonna happen here, but I do think it's probably going to be, you know, just a kind of a flat bit, and then I don't know if these sea lantern lines are going to extend upwards and do a little design maybe. I'm thinking of doing maybe like a little diamond in the center there, and then having it branch off each way to the sea lantern lines or something like that. Okay, so we are just finishing up this little top bit here, and surprisingly this little platform, well, I mean, I say little, but it is kind of little, has taken over a shulker box of resources, which is, I don't know, I thought a shulker box would cover more than this, but I guess not. So we're continuing our same textured pattern here, and what I decided to do was actually make this top flat bit one raised from the band, which I think looks good. And then what we're going to do is continue to wrap this band around where all the vertical components are, and then we're going to kind of string them along. And then maybe in the center I'll connect them in like a diamond. We'll have to see how that goes. But here's a look at the base texture on the top here, looking like a more solidified pyramid, which is what we're going for. So now we just got to string some sea lanterns and maybe make a little design in the middle here. So I extended the little bands on top here with a little diamond shape in the middle. As we can see, the sea lanterns looking around, but I only did a 1 block border on the dark prismarine, but if we look down below, it's actually a 2 block dark prismarine border, which I think I should extend upwards because this does not look that great in my opinion. All right, here we go with the second layer. So that is it. So I think, yeah, this is. Ooh, look at how pretty. All right, let's see what we're looking like. Oh yeah, I think that's better. Looks like a little bit thin there. No, that is much better. 100%. That's much cleaner, I think. Oh yeah. Alrighty, so after about another hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're working on the mid-body segment. So I'm running into a couple of spacing issues between the layers, so that's been something that's been a little challenging to try and figure out, but here is the new mid-body segment that we can see here. Kind of a more look as to what we're going with. And I think on this mid-body segment, I am going to put sea lanterns on all of these stencil bits. Alright, so we are about, I think, maybe 1.5 shulker boxes later, and we can see that we've built on this mid-body section all the way over here. So far, I think the texturing is looking very, very nice. As we can see on that flat bit on the bottom diamond. If we fly over this way, I haven't done any sea lanterns yet, but I'm probably going to be working on that now. So, you know, it is appearing to be pretty dark because I haven't done the lights yet, but I think it is turning out very, very good. So, alright, so here is the last little bit for our sea lantern lights. One thing that I have been thinking as I've been looking at this is that we do need to add some diagonal bits for these mid-body segments. I think it'll look good, but let's go ahead and take a look at what we are looking like here. Yeah, the only hard bits have been where they kind of connect, but I think the way I've laid it out here is pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I think it's looking pretty nice, but yeah, definitely on the mid-body segments where you have more like surface area, I do think that there needs to be a row of sea lanterns on this diagonal bit, and I don't know if we're going to do like a 1 block border of dark prismarine or a 2 block border, perhaps. I guess we'll just kind of have to find out. Alright, so I just put in the diagonal sea lanterns, and I definitely think that that was a good decision. I had to do a couple of revisions to make sure that it was protruding like the other vertical one. As you can see here, we got a 2 block border that I ended up deciding doing for those, and then I put the diagonals on both the sides that we finished already, and I definitely think the diagonals are where it's at. Whether or not I continue them down to the small pyramid, I'm not too sure. So there's a new day, we got more resources, and here's where we left off last time. So we finished this front side of the diamond mid-body segment, and as we can see, we got a nice little sea lantern trim as well, and then we got some work on this back side here. Pretty simple process, but it's been, you know, just kind of a grind and a resource pit that I've just been endlessly dropping hours of AFK materials into. And now we have fully completed the lower section of the mid-body diamond, at least for the walls anyways. So now I need to work on the, I guess, floor and ceiling bits so that this thing is closed off and not just open. Alright, so here's a little update on our lower mid-body segment. As we can see, we got all the walls completely done, and then we also did the floor down there. So I think that this floor segment now being in place does look very nice. This is what it looks like on the inside. Kind of just mirrored the sea lantern pattern. but I think our build is looking very, very good right now. So, alright, so here we are a couple days later, and I've just added a shulker box and a bit worth of deep slate to this top platform. And as you can see, a shulker box only takes me like 7 layers in, so I got like 3 more shulker boxes prepared, but I guess I wasn't ready for how big this platform actually is. We are here at, I think like 30 minutes later. We got 2 more shulker boxes of deep slate coming in here, so obviously our texture pattern is looking pretty nice, I'd say. Making a nice little area here. Alright, so here's what we are looking like, filling in the last few blocks. I had to spend a lot of time getting more deep slate, unfortunately. But we can finally have a look at the finished base texture before we put in the lights and everything. So let's go ahead and have a look here. Looks very nice, the full thing textured. Can't believe how long this has taken, but we are finally done with the base plate. So now what we're gonna do, like the other pyramids, is we're gonna wrap around the sea lanterns, as we can see, like this. We're gonna wrap them around, and then as far as the diamond in the middle, I'll probably go for a little bit of a bigger one, I think. Alrighty, so we are just finishing up the trimming on the inside. So here's actually what the inside looks like. I don't think I've showed this yet, but it looks kind of cool in here. I might put some farms in here because this is actually a pretty big area now that I'm standing here looking at it. But this is kind of what we're looking like from the inside. So the part that I trimmed was this roof segment so that the outer band of sea lanterns can be seen on the inside here. And you know, I think it looks very cool in here for sure. Definitely the texturing makes it look a bunch nicer. And then I also put torches on the dark spots so that we don't have any mobs spawning, hopefully. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we're looking like for the outside real quick. Let me just punch a hole in here and then fly out. So this is what we're looking like so far with the top bit of the mid-body section that we just completed here. So we're looking pretty nice, and then maybe I'll show it at nighttime if I remember. And yeah, we can see what our entire build is looking like so far. We are making very good progress, that's for sure.